Hey world, how's it going? Yeah, it's us again, the people of Israel, a country so tiny that you can barely write our name on the globe. You have to write a part of it on the water or a neighboring country. The only country the Jewish people have, where they are free to speak their language with no hesitation, to live their lives and prevent another Holocaust like the one they endured a bit more than 60 years ago. Remember that? Just making sure because your memory tends to be short. The country that from the moment it was established, a bit over 60 years ago, has contributed and dedicated its human capital, its technological capabilities, and its innovational spirit for the sake of the global population. So we have one small request from you. No, don't worry, dear world. We know you're busy with issues like global warming, the energy crisis, and the bad economy. We truly understand, and we won't take much of your time. And how to say this lightly, we don't demand much from you anyways, only to hear us out this time. In the next couple of days, the IDF will hopefully take on a powerful and painful military operation in a territory used by terrorists, don't forget that you call them that too, that are causing this atrocious act of aggression against innocent civilians. An operation that will hopefully restore the peace and the safety of millions of Israelis and put an end to the hundreds of rockets fired towards them. Many people will leave their workplace, families will cancel their summer vacations and halt their normal lives. Their focus and drive will be set on retaliating against the scoundrels that can't differentiate between a tank or a garden or a school, against those who believe it is appropriate and justified to use their own children as human shields, against those who think that firing rockets on settled and densely populated areas is a legitimate protest. No, dear world, we don't need your help with soldiers or forces. We have our IDF soldiers. They are well trained and fully motivated. And trust us, they are the best investment in our country. We don't want any arms or weapons either. We develop our own and invest billions a year on advanced technology, also that our children and all innocent citizens won't get hurt. And we have reached the maximum specific prevention capabilities with our Iron Dome, for example. Military experts from every corner of the world come to learn from us on how to combat in an asymmetric war. Unfortunately, when your neighbors threaten your existence, you become an expert in this field. We also don't need your support in words if it is too difficult for you. Yeah, it will be nice, but we understand you depend on Arab oil and don't wish to piss off your friends with the keffiyehs on their heads and their hands on the switch. We all know how that brings up the gas prices. So we will ask you for one thing. Don't disturb and don't get in our way, because you obviously know that no country would allow their densely populated areas to be under vicious rocket attacks day and night. No country would allow innocent children to live in shelters or have 15 seconds to run for their lives. So why should we, a country approximately the size of New Jersey, allow this? No country would show this much restraint while their citizens of all ages become the target of a radical extremist religious terror organization that also won't acknowledge their right to exist. We have kept quiet and put up for this for too long, but the silence is deafening, as you should probably know, dear world, for you have kept your silence about the tragic mass murders in Syria, the violations of human rights in China, the suppressing of the minorities and the LGBT communities in Russia, and so on. But for some reason, when it comes to this specific tiny country that resides in parts between the murderous, restraintless terror and the advanced civilized West, suddenly you have a lot to say. Absolutely loads to say. So just let us be. We don't need lessons in ethics and definitely don't need advice on how to protect our country. We don't need you to preach to us about restraints and compassion or how to negotiate with terrorists. So if you aren't willing to be helpful, like the many other times that you just sat aside and allowed them to massacre Jews just for being Jewish, at least don't stand in our way and let us do the job ourselves. Thank you, sincerely, the people of Israel.